In my last video, we worked in the front, and today we're going to remove all of this junk from the trunk. We still have some junk in the front, but this is the day after the front job, so I'm still waiting on those spring compressors. And speaking of junk, what we're going to remove today is the fuel tank, the diff, the leaf spring, and the shocks. So technically this should take probably maybe 45 minutes to an hour, but I don't know, it's pretty simple, but let's see what kind of problems I run into this time. So we're going to work in order today because I already learned from my past mistakes. First, we're going to release the tension from the shock. Then we're going to remove these bolts that attach the leaf springs to the diff. Then remove the leaf springs, and then finally the diff will be ready. But first, before we do all of that, I need to drain the fuel. I don't know if there's any fuel in here. I really doubt it. Maybe there's water, who knows, but let's see. And I want to make sure that I drain if there's anything here because I am going to remove the gas tank. So I want just the least weight possible once this diff is off. Let's see if there's anything in here. Oh yeah, something's, oh, honestly, that's a big surprise. Okay, it smells like fuel. I even tapped on it and I didn't think there was anything in there. At least I had enough gas if the engine would have worked. So I had drained that one before this and it got filled up entirely with all of this fuel. So I got paranoid. I'm like, I don't want this to overfill. So I brought another bucket and interchanged them. But in the process, I got a golden shower moment and that bucket is about to fill up. I think I might need another one. I feel like, what the heck? Was this whole entire gas tank filled up before? Usually you would want to remove these brake lines, but since I'm not going to reuse them, I'm just going to buy brand new ones. These are all crusty. I'm just going to cut them off. Easy peasy. And then the second one is right here. Oof, this one's a bit harder. Fuck. Oh, snapped my finger too. All right, so those are now off. The emergency brake lines are still attached to the diff, so these need to be removed. Just need to loosen these up. An hour later and I'm almost done with the first one. There's a second nut on there. So apparently the stud is spinning, so I'm just grabbing it with pliers, just ratcheting it off. Okay, so now there's a hook here and it's off. Okay, so now closer here. Need to release it from this hook. Once I get this off of this little bracket, now there's just a small little hook here that's holding it in place. It's almost, oh, there it is. Okay. And then there's another clip on the other side too, right here. Okay. Now let's tackle the other clip. Oh, okay, that was easy. So now, okay, it's off. Yay! That honestly took a little bit longer than I expected, but now finally get to the good part, the fun stuff. So again, starting with the right order, we're gonna start by removing this nut right here that's going to release the tension from the shocks because we don't want what happened last time. Honestly, I was not expecting that shock to spin, so I think I'm just going to hold it and go slow because I don't want my hand teared apart. Okay, it's out. So now the same thing for the other side. I'm going to break it first. I don't want my wrist to just spin with it and then I'll hold it. Okay. I have no idea how tight these nuts are going to be. I sprayed them with PB Blaster yesterday and also today. So I feel like that should have helped, but I still don't know. So I'm going to break them first before coming in with a Milwaukee. So it did move a bit, so I'm going to work on the others. I figured, why not break these in a star pattern? Figured it won't hurt. Okay. Okay. Whew. All right, so now the other side. Oh, all of them are broken. Milwaukee time. Okay, so I figured since that's on there really tight, I'm just going to not take it off all the way and then just do a little bit for each. Again, in the same star pattern. I'm glad I'm not there. There's a whole bunch of dust coming off. I think I need to get my glasses. It's just so much dust coming out. Okay, back to the other side. But first, let me get my glasses. Hot as fuck. That was a little bit hard, so I think I'm just going to spray a little bit more PB Blaster. Those threads are looking, I don't know, a little bit too dry. Ow. Okay. Maybe I need to bang off this top hook from this side. I think so because it's... Okay, never mind. And the hook is off. All right, the diff is off this leaf spring, so now to the other side. I think this is the worst part because even though it's the last one, I am a little bit worried that it might shift the diff that way, even though it is hooked on here. I just don't want it to like be dangling on that side. So I'll have to like take it a little bit slow as possible that I can, and just see how this is balancing on this stand. Whew, this is smoking. The way the smoke comes out reminds me of like a bullet exiting the chamber. Okay, the last one. I can't even tell. I think it's looking fine. Oh, I'm nervous. I am nervous. Okay. Okay, I think it stayed on pretty balanced. So now these U-clamps need to come off. This bracket is as stubborn as the other one. Oh no, it wasn't. Now, the leaf springs. So the PB Blaster helped, but in return, look what it did to me. It squirted all over myself. I have it all over my chest, my face. Good thing that I decided to wear these glasses because if not, it would have gone in my eyes. So I'm gonna keep working. I was expecting to get dirty because it's suspension, it's underneath the car, everything is pretty dirty, but I wasn't expecting all of this splattering all over my face, to be honest. But now that the diff is loose, this is the last step. Now removing the springs, the leaf springs. So just gonna hold this nut here with the wrench while I loosen this. I feel more dirt particles falling down my hand. Okay, so now on to the other side to do the same thing. I'm just going to be watching this nut. Once it's loose enough, then I'll remove the nut first. Okay, there's more shit on my face now. I feel like I should have worn a helmet or something. It's loose enough. Oh, maybe a mask. Oh my gosh, all this dust. Okay, so now I can kind of push this bolt out while I'm prepared for this leaf spring to drop. Maybe I can push it further with this. Does this fit? I need a smaller one. And then I can just push this. The bolt is almost out, okay. You go back to this big screwdriver and then just pry it off. And now it's just going to hang like this until I get the other side done. You know, it's not too bad. It's not hard at all, but the spacing, positioning is a little bit awkward with, well, this side with the arm here and then like these brake cables everywhere and then just all of this dirt falling on me. But, you know, it could be worse like the front. Oh, this bolt. Let me hammer it a bit. Oh, this one is stubborn. Let me keep pushing it. Okay, great. It came off with it, so did my job a little easier. This diff is something to always be looking out for. Okay, but now it's good, so I can move this out of the way. Okay, let me make my way out of here. I'm lowering it just a little bit to be able to clear the shock. I'm not really sure what to expect with these leaf springs once I remove them. So maybe it's heavier than I think it is. I don't know. So there's two nuts here. We're gonna start off with one. Maybe it starts like twisting the leaf spring that way. I don't know, let's see. This feels funny. Let me loosen this other one. They're both being held on by this bracket that's in place. Okay, let me remove the first one first. Needs a lot more than I expected. So now this last one is holding everything together. It's a lot tighter than I expected it to be. It died on me. Luckily for me, I have 2 of these because I love my cordless so much and I use it so often that that happens. I thought maybe it's not removing it because it was almost dying, so it didn't have that much power, but no, this is still very tight on there. Maybe now, yeah. Okay, so I still have that bracket that I need to remove, and then I can slide this off. Come on. Okay, so I need to pry this off too. Rule of thumb for every single old suspension part on this car. No, you know, pushing it right now, I can feel the weight on to it. I think I will just remove it with the whole bracket this way because it's just working that way. I'm having a hard time sliding it off to the side. Oh, there's a huge, huge spider web here. It's like almost out, but of course it just wants to be a pain. It wants to catch me by surprise, Beck. Surprise, I'm on the floor. Oh, I think it's almost there. Okay. Yeah, it's decently heavy. The nut is off after 2 hours. I'm kidding, but it just seems a lot longer than just using my cordless. Okay, so since I already learned from the other side, I keep learning from my mistakes here. I guess it wasn't, it was just something. I'm going to use some penetrating oil because this should make it a lot easier for this to come off. At least I'm hoping that's the idea. It's really hard to see here. Oh, but this one's coming off. Oh, maybe that did help. It's coming off a lot easier than the other side. Wow, if I would have just done that, then I wouldn't have been there forever. So an extra step, which I wasn't planning on doing, but I feel like this would be much easier removing the fuel tank. I'm going to remove the trunk because I'll just have way more space. So there's 4 bolts on each, 2 on each side, and then it just slides off. At least I think that's how it's going to work. Let's see. Now there's just these 2 on this side. Let me hold this because it might shift. Yep. Still there though. Okay. Yeah, it slides off. It's a little heavy. I think if I have it flatter towards me, this would make a big difference in pulling it out and managing the weight. Okay. We are almost there at getting the gas tank out. So I need to remove this fill pipe because if I don't, then it's going to be in the way and there's no way that I'll be able to raise that gas tank up. So there's just like a few screws and bolts. Yes. The ground wire needs to be removed. That is this small little bolt right here. This isn't necessary for the gas tank removal, but this is just for the wiring. Since I'm just going to go ahead and do it, I thought, okay, let me just remove that. And either way, it's in the way of everything here. This bottom one. Maybe I need to try prying this out. Yeah. I have a mini pry bar. I think if I can just pry and then try to pull it up, it should work. Oh, whole bunch of dirt squirted out this way. Finally at the last step, removing the fuel tank. So there's just a whole bunch of bolts that I need to remove, and then I can pull this fuel tank up. At least I think I can. It doesn't seem heavy, but I don't know, I've never removed the fuel tank before, so I'm about to find out. I can already see that there's some that we're missing. So it doesn't have all the bolts, but I mean, that's pretty much standard with this car. It's stuck, of course, so I'm going to pry it in the corners. Hopefully that works. Okay, it's lifting. Oh, but I think I need to get here from the rear. At least try to. It's kind of hard. There's no room to pry it, but oh yeah. Okay, so all 4 corners are out. Since I can't grab it from the sides, there's no room for me to get my hands in there. I feel like it's going to be a little bit awkward. I'll try like this and then probably tilt it so nothing spills out and then grab it sideways. Let's see if I can even manage that. But it doesn't seem like it's too heavy. Okay, so I got it out. I don't think so. I don't think I can manage. Okay, let's just do like this. Okay. Oh yeah, a bit off balance. There's some fuel in here. This is how it looks like without the fuel tank. It seemed like a lot more steps than I thought in order to get it off, but I can get it all nice and clean, which that is probably one of the next things that I'm going to do. I need to clean this entire car, and I did read all your suggestions for removing that little sticky part in the middle, so that's what I need to do next. Now that, well, first I need to fix the suspension in the front. Just remove that and then get to this. The interior is now pretty much stripped and bare inside the Mustang. So now, again, I just need to work on cleaning it. Once it's clean, I can inspect it a little bit better so I can see what needs to be worked on. And then after that, I need to learn how to weld because apparently it's hard to find a mobile welder that works on cars. So I'm going to do it myself. So, bye.